this, but to me it does, proves to me he works for the owners and not the players.
Yeah, because makes perfect sense, Jeff. What was he before he became commissioner of baseball? The owner of the Milwaukee Brewers.
He's the commissioner of baseball. He's supposed to work with both sides. He's in the middle. He's not on the owner side or the player side. He's supposed to be neutral like Switzerland. He's not. He's on the owner side. And you can't tell me different.
Yeah, you can't just think that giving a player 211 games is for the second offense is a penalty. You should just stick with the rules as commissioner. Say, okay, 50 games, we agree with that. And then the second offense is 100 games. And the third offense, I'd have to look that up. I don't want to get my facts wrong. I think the fourth offense is a lifetime ban from baseball. Third offense, I thought would be like 150. But the idea, when that was announced in August, and I came home from work, and you too, and we knew that Rodriguez was going to be the whole topic of the show back in August, Jeff, and I heard it was 211 games, I sat there shaking my head thinking, I said, it's only his second offense. Why is he getting more games than any other MLB player? It doesn't make sense.
Right, and that's why he's appealing the suspension. That's the only reason why he is appealing the suspension.
And in a way, I would agree with what Alex Rodriguez is doing, because he's saying, look, it's my second offense. How come I'm getting the bigger penalty than the other players? Because Tejada only got 105 games for he got suspended.
For his second offense. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you consider Ryan Braun's this first offense or his second offense? Because the first time they proved that the guy screwed it up or whatever, and they took it away. Now, this time he took the suspension. Is this his first offense or his second offense in your eyes?
I believe it's got to be his second offense.
Right. And he got a little over 50 games, too.
Yeah, so Bud Selig has really screwed it up as far as suspensions go. You ready for an update?
Yeah, but it confuses the shit out of me that he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He makes these rules, he puts them in paper, puts them in the bylaws, and then when somebody breaks one of these rules, screw it, I'll give him more than he's supposed to get. What? What are you, judge? What are you, judge, jury, and executioner? What the hell is that all about? That's why I don't have a problem with Alex Rodriguez appealing his suspension, because he should.
Yep.
Right?
Right.
This update is brought to you by BuyHuntingEquipment.com. For all your camping, fishing, hiking, and hunting gear, head on over to BuyHuntingEquipment.com. That's BuyHuntingEquipment.com. The only update of the day. Take it away, Sean Mann.
Thank you very much, Jeff, and thank you everybody for joining us on Sports World Radio. As everybody knows, it is baseball tonight. We got a lot of stuff going on. We're going to start in the American League. We all know the situation here. The Tampa Bay Rays are playing the New York Yankees, and as everybody knows, here's the situation. The Rays win, and they pretty much are moving farther ahead in the AL wildcard race, and that means with a Yankee loss tonight, the Yankees would be officially eliminated from playoff contention. A team that got their hopes ended last night was the Baltimore Orioles. As everybody knows, Baltimore is officially eliminated from playoff contention. A lot of people were surprised because everybody thought when this season began that the Baltimore Orioles were going to be the team that was going to come out on top and maybe take the American League East or maybe do the AL wildcard. After one inning of play down in Cleveland, Ohio, it is the Chicago White Sox 0 and the Cleveland Indians 0. Situation like this means that if the Indians win, they will continue to gain ground in the American League wildcard, and not only that, they would eliminate the New York Yankees. So the Yankees are doing a lot of scoreboard watching. They have to play their game and hope that the White Sox win just to keep the Yankees' slim playoff hopes alive. It's going to be very tough for the Yankees to even make it to the playoffs. Another team that is also in the hunt for October would be the Texas Rangers. They are hosting one of the worst teams in baseball, and that would be the Houston Astros. The Astros are 51 and 107. Worst record in all of baseball. They take on a Texas Rangers team that's just sitting a few games back of Tampa Bay for the top wild card spot, and they're also one game behind Cleveland for the second wild card spot. So right now it looks like it's a 3-team race between Tampa Bay, Cleveland, and Texas. The Detroit Tigers are at the Minnesota Twins. Detroit very much on their way to getting the American League Central taken care of. They win tonight. They've got the division won. Also, the Kansas City Royals, their slim playoff hopes hanging in there slightly. They're taking on the Seattle Mariners. Again, they have to do a lot of scoreboard watching and making sure that they will have a chance to keep their wild card hopes alive. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, they've been playing better of late, and everybody's asking probably where was that at the beginning of the season. They take the game 3-1 this afternoon against the Oakland Athletics. That's good news for Boston Red Sox fans, and myself included, because the Red Sox have a 1-game lead for the top seed in the American League. We're going to switch on over to the National League. The Milwaukee Brewers playing in Atlanta right now. It's 1-0 Brewers against the Atlanta Braves. The Braves have the National League East Division all taken care of. Philadelphia Phillies at the Miami Marlins. Both teams just trying to finish up strong. Both will not make the playoffs, especially with the fact that the Phillies fired Charlie Manuel back in, I believe it was around August. And in other news for baseball, the New York Mets, they shut out the Cincinnati Reds 1-0. That's kind of big news because if the Reds want to win the division, they have to win their games. They are sitting a few games back of St. Louis for the National League Central Division. 4 games, actually, because the Cardinals won this afternoon 4-1 against Washington. The Pittsburgh Pirates, who clinched a playoff spot. They haven't won the division, but clinched a playoff spot. Taking on the Chicago Cubs, they lose this afternoon 4-2. So if things continue to be the way they are, the Pirates and the Reds would battle for the 1-game playoff in the National League wildcard, and that would start next week. Other news to report, the Boston Red Sox at the Colorado Rockies. As everybody knows, the Red Sox are making sure that they can get the home field advantage throughout the playoffs. The Los Angeles Dodgers, they are taking on the Giants. They're trying to battle with Atlanta and St. Louis to make sure that they can get home field advantage in the National League. And the other matchup, the late game tonight, of little importance, it's the Arizona Diamondbacks at the San Diego Padres. So those are baseball headlines and the scores going on this Wednesday night. In the National Hockey League, as everybody knows, we are just 8 days away from opening night for the National Hockey League. And of course, with hockey coming up, it'll be interesting to see what the new format looks like for hockey. Same thing goes for NBA. The exhibition is coming up. And of course, as you all know, in late October, the NBA season tips off. In the NFL, as all of you know, tomorrow night, the game will feature, just a minute, get right on over. Tomorrow night on the NFL Network, it'll be the slumping San Francisco 49ers taking on the St. Louis Rams. As you all know, Jeff and I will be going over that game for tomorrow. For Sports World Radio, I'm Sean Mann, the Update Man. It is 7:36 p.m. on the East Coast, which makes it 4:36 p.m. on the West. Back to Jeff Eskow, host.
All right, welcome back to the show. That update was brought to you by BuyHuntingEquipment.com. For all your camping, fishing, and hiking here, head on over to BuyHuntingEquipment.com. All right, so before we went to break, we were talking about what Bud Selig's screwing up. What's the next topic?
Yeah, Jeff, let's move into some NFL, shall we? We'll get to your, you sent me something, but we'll get to this topic right now. Everybody's wondering what's going on in San Francisco. 1-2 right now, an embarrassing game on Sunday against the Colts. I was actually shocked that San Francisco played that bad. Maybe my prediction with the 49ers isn't too good. We'll see how they look. They're playing St. Louis tomorrow. What's your thoughts?
They should be able to beat up St. Louis pretty good tomorrow, I'm thinking.
I don't think it's necessarily panic time, but the 49ers really need to get it going. Otherwise, the new team that would take that division would be the Seattle Seahawks, and Pete Carroll has really got the Seahawks playing some good football.
Yeah, well, we'll see, because this week is week 4, and it's the first quarter.
if I'm a 49er fan, I don't think you necessarily panic. But if you were to lose tomorrow night's game against the Rams, then you're saying, now it's panic time because we were the defending NFC champions and we're not certainly playing like the NFC champions.
Well, I'm more concerned with the Giants than I am with anybody else right now.
Yeah, if we look real closely here at the standings, you got the NFC East. You got Dallas at 2-1. You got Philadelphia at 1-2. The Redskins are 0-3, and Giants are 0-3.
Yeah, the Giants going to Kansas City this week. Oh, you got
and I still say that even though everybody's talking about why the Chiefs and the Dolphins are so good, my reaction, we'll go to the AFC right now. My reaction is, Jeff, can those two teams maintain it? Can they stay with, can the Chiefs stay ahead of Denver? Can they compete with them? And can Miami compete with New England?
Well, right now, Kansas City is competing with New England, and Miami is competing with the Pats right now. We'll see what happens a little further down the road because, as you know, New England and Miami play twice against each other because they're in the same division, and the same thing with Kansas City and Denver. So that's going to change it. I mean, if they make a split, that's going to change it. If one of those teams wins both games, it's going to change it, So we'll
first
see what
time
happens.
They'll play will be November 17th, and that is going to be in Denver when the Broncos and the Chiefs play. We'll see how both teams look, and we'll see what the records are when we get there and we go over the games. I mean, that's going to be a really, really important thing.
Yeah, it's gonna those weeks that it happened. Yes, it's gonna be very interesting. And you gotta remember Denver's still got a lot of good teams to play. So, but they looked pretty freaking flawless on Monday night. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, if I get into that game just a little bit, they absolutely just thumped the Oakland Raiders, which was expected. We knew that was going to happen, and Peyton Manning has been outstanding for them.
He holds he's got the record right now for the most touchdowns in 3 weeks. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
They can't keep that pace up all year long. They can't play like that all year. Somebody's got to get to him, don't you think so?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a fun year in the AFC West because if you got Denver there, now you got freaking Kansas City sitting there, and Oakland's going to be at the bottom, and then the Chargers got to get their act together. If they get their act together and one of those teams lose one game each and it's going to be a very interesting AFC West, just like it's going to be a very interesting NFC East. Now that you got two teams in that division 0-3. I think what the Giants are doing is they're saying we're going to lose the first 3 games of the year to give these teams a head start, and then we're going to come at you. At least that's what I hope they're thinking, because if they lose to Kansas City on Sunday and go 0-4, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah, and
I don't mean done.
I don't
mean done. Stop rooting for them, but I'm going to be pissed off, and I probably will have a really hard time picking them.
And another thing that I'll have to keep in perspective is when Denver travels up to New England. That'll be interesting too when those two teams play to determine what the records will be. Both New England and Denver will make the playoffs. I would be shocked if they would not make it, but they're both going to be in it, and it's going to kind of be the new rivalry of the 20 teams, like Patriots and Colts, because I can remember there were some great matchups.
Right now, Denver is better than Patriots right now.
I would agree with you on that, because if you look at it too, Jeff, the Patriots, they're not playing really well. They had 2 games that they played sloppy in that they barely pulled off. They barely won the game at Buffalo. They barely held off the Jets. And finally, on Sunday, they had one of the best games they played all year. Now, that's exactly what the Patriots need to do, is get back to just blowing out opponents and stop making games close.
Going into week 4, Denver is the best AFC team in the league right now.
Well, remember, when the expectations came for the Broncos, they were the heavy favorites to represent the AFC.
You know how much I hate to say that, because I can't stand the Broncos. Anyway, now that Peyton Manning's over there, I hate him even more. Okay? But you know how hard that is? But I'm objective. So I say it. Right now, Denver Broncos are the best team in the AFC. By far none. Okay? Pittsburgh Steelers, you better get your act together. You're 0-3 as well. You lose